Hello everybody, I'm Jason Burnt from Macomb Township Government Access along with Brad Fetters, and we're getting set for this varsity boys basketball game between the L'Anse Creuse North Crusaders and the Dakota Cougars. And Brad, we'll start with the home team, L'Anse Creuse North. It's been a tough go for them. They have yet to win a game. How can they turn that thing around here tonight against a tough Dakota team?
Yeah, they come into tonight's play with an 0-10 record, and it's been 14 straight losses. If you look back to last season, 1-19 in their last 20. So things have really kind of spiraled out of control here for LCN as of late. If they want to pull the upset here tonight, they're going to have to get hot from the field and really, I think, slow things down. Dakota's a team that likes to get out and transition. They're like a team that likes to speed you up, while LCN's going to have to slow them down and really grind this game out.
As for Dakota, they just recently learned a tough break. Ryan Rollins, one of their top players, gone probably for the year with a leg injury, coming off a loss against Roseville. How is that going to affect him mentally, not only coming off that loss in a league game, but now losing a teammate?
Well, it's next man up, right? And that's really you're going to rely on your senior leadership in the form of Mark Toko. The quarterback of the football team is going to have to be the quarterback of this basketball team, right? So they're going to rely on him now to run the point. They're going to rely on him for the majority of their scoring. Tyler O'Connor is going to get the start here tonight for Ryan Rollins. Obviously, that's going to be a huge dip for them because Ryan Rollins was their do-everything point guard. So for Dakota, you kind of have to put that on the back burner now. You lost to Roseville, but guess what? All of a sudden, your MAC Red hopes are still alive, right? That's just one loss. You got to put your heads up and beat LCN here tonight.
We look forward to an outstanding ball game. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few moments for the opening tip here on Macomb Township Government Access.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back here on Macomb Township Government Access. Jason Burnt and Brad Fetters getting set for the start of this one here between L'Anse Creuse North and Dakota. Let's quickly take a look at our starting lineups. First for the visiting Cougars, coached by Paul Toka. We have number 0, Jeremiah Major. Number 1, Josh Hines. Number 2, Mark Toko. Number 4, Tyler O'Connor. And number 10, Xavier Glenn. For the Crusaders, coached by Jay Seletsky, we have number 3, Makai Johnson. Number 4, Jeremiah Stewart. Number 5, Jordan Brossett. Number 11, Marzouk Shamsuddin. And number 12, Brian Bendo. Dakota will be in the road blue jerseys, LCN in their home whites.
It's going to be really interesting to see how well Dakota responds after that lone loss to the regular season and the loss of their star point guard.
Yeah, like we mentioned off the top of our broadcast, Tyler O'Connor in the starting lineup, replacing Ryan Rollins. Out for an extended period of time, perhaps maybe even the entire year with a torn hamstring. LCN wins the tap, they'll start. Boy, it'd be a feather in their cap if their first win came against Dakota, the defending 4-time MAC Red champions. Makai Johnson running things at the point. Going against Mark Toko. Three-pointer by Brossett off the mark. Josh Hines chases down the rebound.
And we saw this LCN team last week in their game against Chippewa Valley, and really offensively, they failed to get anything going. Makai Johnson was a lone bright spot offensively for LCN, so finding some secondary scoring so important here tonight at home.
Hines fires for 3 off the mark. Battle for the board. Jeremiah Major comes down with it.
And
at least able to tap it out.
Jeremiah Major really clearing some space on the inside. Could have easily got called for a moving screen.
He's difficult to move out. Boy, he's a beast down low. And it's Mark Toko with the drive. Little floater that falls. Up ahead of everybody, though. Zook lays it in.
A baseline violation.
Yeah, now a turnover. Dakota trying to get the ball in quickly.
That's so important for this LCN team to get off to a good start. Get this big crowd out in front and behind them. Like to get a little bit of a lift from your bench here as well, and nice start.
Quick inbound pass. Brian Bendo capitalizes. LCN with a 2-point lead. You kind of feel a little bit of emotion coming from the LCN side. Toko, another little floater off the front iron. Xavier Glenn looking to go back up with it. He misses. Off the hands of Jeremiah Major, out of bounds. LCN with the possession.
And if you're an LCN fan, you just hope they're able to continue with this lift that they've gotten here in the early goings and see if you can't get it for the full 32 minutes.
LCN made a change in their starting lineup as well as Marzouk Samshadin came in, replacing Jakari Hamilton. We'll see him, though, tonight.
Samshadin was really good last season when we saw them in action, and he's a player that's really got to get it going here for the Crusaders in the second half of the season.
He's got it now. Working against Glenn. Over to Stewart. And now we're going to get an offensive foul, moving screen. Going to be called against Makai Johnson.
Yeah, the timing of that was just a little off, and it almost seemed like Johnson kind of got lost on the play and ran into a defender. Easy call for the official to make.
Coming up on 5.5 to play in the opening quarter. Dakota trails by 2. They've got it now. Josh Hines trying to get around his defender, kicks it out. Toko puts it on the floor, a little ball fake. Couldn't get his defender up in the air, now gets it back over to Hines.
I think Josh Hines is going to be the player for the Cougars in the second half of their season. That's really going to have to pick things up. He's a really talented sophomore.
Miss on the three-pointer. Bendo grabs a long rebound. Now trying to push it a little bit. Makai Johnson to Brosset underneath the basket, kicks it out. Stewart open for 3. That shot off the mark. Battle for the rebound. And it went off of LCN. It'll be Dakota basketball. Well, they had an open look that time.
And Stewart kind of caught that ball low, and it took him a while to get that shot off. You just wonder if that was a timing issue.
Steal here by Makai Johnson. Playing the passing lane, drives inside, got the foul. A little bit of a late whistle, but they did call it. And Makai will go to the line looking for 2 there. Foul goes against Jeremiah Major. And now we're going to get a couple substitutions for North. Christian Johnson, as well as the previously mentioned Jakari Hamilton, into the ball game, replacing Brosset and Brian Bendo.
And we know that this LCN rotation is 9-10 deep. They like to keep guys fresh.
A couple misses at the line.
You can't have that if you're going to pull the upset. And to add insult to injury, Marzouk Samsudin picks up the foul. So you go empty on the trip down the floor, miss 2 free throws, and pick up a foul.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Seletsky before the game, and he mentioned that Makai Johnson, just a little snake bit, maybe lacking a little confidence on the shot. And there you saw a couple misses at the foul line. And meanwhile, on this end, Dakota gets it underneath to Xavier Glenn, who got fouled.
You don't have to play perfect to beat Dakota, but you got to play pretty darn near close to perfect. And in order to stay close, you got to make your freebies.
Even without Ryan Rollins, they're still a very dangerous team. They've got a lot of weapons. Evan Whalen checks in for the first time for Dakota, replacing Tyler O'Connor. So Glenn knocks down 2 from the line, and we are tied. We're going to get a kick ball, it looks like. Makai Johnson trying to dribble out of a double team trap. Gets it up ahead of Jakari Hamilton. Goes up with it, but he gets going to get called for the offensive foul. Or the travel. They get him on travel in that time.
Kind of see already that Dakota really keying up on Mekhi Johnson. They double teamed him in the backcourt. Nice job of passing out, but fortunately for them, Jakari Hamilton took too many steps.
Mark Toko got around his defender, drove it in nicely, and missed the shot, but he'll go to the line. Got his left hand taped up pretty good. That's his non-shooting hand. It's obviously not affecting him.
It's a tempo that kind of plays into the hand of LCN just a little bit. Slow, grinded out game.
Brian Bendo checks back in. Toko at the line. Knocks down a pair. He's got 4 of the 6 points here in the opening quarter for Dakota.
Bendo with the basketball. He's a shooter. He's a guy that can fill it up in that 6th roll. Nice individual effort there.
Brian Bendo made a heck of a move that time and ties the score up. On the other end, though, a nice lay-in, Mark Toko.
Toko's so dangerous on those individual plays and able to drive the lane. And
nice move by Zook. Boy, he caught it. He didn't know quite what to do with it. Turned, and there was nobody there. He just drove it up nicely and laid it in. Both he and Brian Bendo each with 4 points in this opening quarter.
Terrific body control by Samson as well.
And we're going to get a foul on this end. Josh Hines was hammered. So at the line, Hines knocks down the first. More substitutions now as Dakota going to go deep into their bench. Evan Messing comes into the game. Moments ago we had Zach Drosky check in.
Seen a lot of penetration here on these last couple possessions for both teams.
Jensen Davenport checks in for LCN.
So this will be an interesting stretch of basketball now with Mekhi Johnson on the bench. You're going to rely a little bit on Christian Johnson to run the point.
Brossett back into the game, drives underneath, looking to dish it. It was knocked out of bounds. It'll remain LCN basketball. 2:50 left to go in the opening quarter. Bendo quickly double teamed in the corner, throws it away. Now it's a race for the ball. Mark Toko chases it down, flips it up. He was fouled.
Boy, that's a tough call for LCN.
Yeah, it's going to be a shooting foul.
Toko was literally underneath the basket when he flipped that one up. Anticipating contact, he got bailed out.
So Toko knocks down the first. 3-point lead now for the Cougars. You know, without Ryan Rowlands in that offensive threat in that starting lineup, and they're going to have to rely on a lot of different guys. Mark Toko's another one that's going to have to help carry the load. He's the senior leader of this team.
You can hear him on the defensive end calling out the defensive sets as well. So point guard and floor leader for the Cougars.
Messing inside, nice dish to him. Misses it though. Christian Stewart with the rebound.
Oh, referee got in the way.
And a foul push from behind as the post pass there went to Jensen Davenport. He was shoved.
And Davenport's shown the ability to knock down some mid-range jumpers, so he's a guy that will set up in the post and work his way out. And you know, he's a guy that can knock down this shot from 15 feet.
Bendo's pass knocked away, loose ball. Jensen Davenport comes back with it. And now we're going to get a reach-in foul against Dakota. Second foul already against Evan Messing, so he'll come out. Jeremiah Major will check back in.
If you're a Cougar fan, you will hope you get a little bit more out of Messing than those 2 fouls and right back to the bench. Provides that height.
Bendo drives inside, flips it up. He was fouled. Good awareness that time to just kind of put a shot up. He'll go to the line.
And just like that, Major also picks up his second personal foul. So your 2 bigs are both going to have to take a seat on the bench for those 2 personals.
And that's why Xavier Glenn's checking back in now for Dakota. Josh Shine's going to come back in as well.
So a little bit of a smaller lineup for Dakota now.
So Brian Bendo at the line. Knocks down a pair.
Good opening frame for Bendo.
Dakota swings it around. Toko comes across Hines, puts it on the floor, drives, floats one and hits. He's so good at that in the
I
lane.
was just going to say, you can't give him any sort of space to operate and hit that floater. You got to lock him down.
Barossett has it, picked up his dribble, in trouble. Ball knocked away, loose, scramble for it. We're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Dakota. Minute and a half left to go in the opening quarter. Dakota with a 4-point advantage. They have it. And now we're going to get a travel. Joey Toko, one of head coach Paul Toko's his other son out there, got called for the travel. Going to see a lot more playing time as he goes down his bench and starts letting a lot of guys get some extra minutes.
As an only child, I'm not familiar with that dynamic of playing with your brother, and Toko goes down. He took a shot.
Joey Toko. Now they're questioning the officials of what the call is.
Offense had control of the basketball, and injury was to the defender. And
so Coach Selesky got his explanation. Mark Toko heads to the bench for Dakota. And they're going to say no foul after all that. So just going to inbound it from out of bounds after all that.
So they'll say the foul didn't occur because of the whistle for the injury.
And now picked off Joey Toko in transition, drops it. Glenn throws it down. And they're going to get him for a technical.
Easy call to make there.
Dakota going to argue it that he had it. If he would have let go at a certain point, they wouldn't have called it. But I think he kind of did a pull-up.
He did a chin-up on the rim. That's the easiest call in the world to make. Can't hang on the rim.
Coach Toko's going to argue it. Yeah, when he went up for the dunk, his body swung underneath. There's no doubt about that. If he'd have let go at that time, it could have been dangerous. Well, Bendo misses the first of the free throw, but yeah, that was seemingly, from our vantage point, an easy call to make. So it's a 5-point lead. LCN has it under a minute to go here in the quarter.
Entertaining first quarter of basketball, man. We'll see a little bit of everything tonight.
Barossett goes in the corner. Wide open three. Christian Johnson knocks it down.
It's just an LCN team that just hangs around. We saw them in that game against Chippewa Valley, and they were right in it till the very end. And it's a team that's looking to pick up that first win of the season. They don't look like a winless team tonight.
After a nice rebound there by Bendo, Makai Johnson in transition. He's going to get called. They're going to get a foul against Dakota. Well, you can kind of feel the energy here in this gym, basically. LCN looking for that first win of the year. kind of felt that at Chippewa Valley. They just couldn't pull it together at the end. But who knows? Maybe this the home gym energy might guide them to that win.
Yeah, they just could not close against Chippewa Valley. Every time they tied the score back up, Chippewa Valley went on a little bit of a run. And this is what we talked about in the early parts of this game is Mekhi Johnson just can't find the bottom of the basket.
They've missed at least 5 free throws here in this opening quarter. Otherwise, they would have the lead. Mekhi Johnson knocks down the second, so now he's on the score sheet. They're going to need secondary scoring if they're going to want to win this game and upset Dakota here tonight. Only 3 Cougars have scored for them. Hines coming off a screen, gets it back over to Mark Toko, fires and hits. Big three-pointer by Mark Toko. 11 points for him in the opening quarter. That shot would have counted. An exciting first quarter comes to a close. Dakota on the road has the 19-15 lead. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few moments for the start of the second.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
And we're back here in Macomb Township Government Access. Jason Burnt, Brad Fetters here. Getting set for the start of the second quarter between L'Anse Creuse North Dakota. Cougars have a 19-15 lead as we start, but LCN has the opening possession.
Yeah, really a nice start for LCN, a team that only averages 45 points per game to score 15 in that first quarter, on pace to score 60. That'd be one heck of an offensive outburst for them here tonight against a very tough Dakota squad.
Eric Shutter into the game for the first time for LCN in the post. A moment ago, the Crusaders looking a little inside out, trying to get the ball into him. That ball knocked away. Mekhi Johnson will just dribble it back out top.
Defensive switch there. Joey Toko deferring to his brother to cover Johnson.
Johnson goes to Shutter in the corner. Now down in the post. Samsonidin goes up and under, misses. Here comes Dakota now in transition. Toko turns on the Jets, drives up, lays it in. Boy, he got into another gear right there.
He can just take over basketball games, can't he? Knocks down that triple right before the end of the first quarter and then just sprints down the floor. Terrific transition bucket there.
He's got 13 of the 21 for Dakota. That ball knocked away, now out in transition, his brother, Joey Toko. Kind of glances behind him, but lays it in. We're gonna get a timeout for LCN.
And Coach Seletsky realizing wheels about to fall off here as he quickly calls timeout. Tough start to the second quarter of play.
Yeah, we said Mark Toko as well as maybe Josh Hines would have to pick up the load with Ryan Rollins out. And Mark has done that,
Yeah,
13 points in this first half.
Answered the bell here tonight. That's everything you want out of your senior quarterback, your leader, your captain on the floor. And he's taking that task on here tonight and has been outstanding in this first half of play.
Well, we got a second here in this full timeout. Let's take a quick look at that replay of that dunk by Xavier Glenn. And you tell me at home if you're watching this and coaches maybe watching this get another opportunity, see if if that's a technical foul or not.
We gave our amateur assessment of it. We played referee there for
like,
a while. And
yeah, it looked like he pulled up on the rim on that dunk, and we thought it was a good call, but.
Well, it's all about player safety, right? You can hang on the rim if there's guys underneath you that need to clear out to make room for you to come down. But it was pretty clear to us that Glenn kind of gave the old chin up there on the rim, and that's what got him called for the technical foul.
So it's 23-15 our score. LCN needs some points. Can't fall down any more than this.
And it's a big trip down the offensive floor. They need some points here on this possession.
Brossett in the corner, looking in the post, just not there. Now a baseline drive. They said he stepped on the baseline, so a turnover out of a timeout is not what you want. Now Brian Bendo will check back in for the Crusaders. Mark Toko slowly brings it up for Dakota. They go across. Hines from the outside knocks it down, a triple.
So many weapons on the floor for the Cougars. You just never know who's going to be the man that provides the offense, and just makes a complete team.
Yeah, Dakota out to a 7-0 run here to start the second. Extra pass, one too many extra passes, but Dakota unable to keep it in bounds.
Yeah, you would have liked to have seen Johnson take that to the rack.
Yeah, he had a lane for a moment. 5.5 to go in the half. An 11-point lead here for Dakota.
Gotta get this in.
And they're gonna get called. Yeah, just couldn't get that inbound pass in. Gonna get called for the 5-second call. Well, Dakota has a way of doing this to you in basketball games, and now you can see they're kind of bringing the pace down a little bit and slowly and methodically gonna maybe pull away in this one.
It's kind of frustrating the opponent, right? Played them close in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden the playmakers took over here in the second quarter.
Looking for an alley-oop, wasn't there on that pass. Now up in transition. Marzouk, Samsudin lays it in. A nice pass by Mekhi Johnson.
Bullet, skip pass inside, transition bucket. What a look there.
That ends the drought. Yeah, that ends the drought here in the second quarter for LCN. And now a knockaway, near steal. Toko catches, fires, and hits.
Caught that with momentum towards the basket, and all one full swoop, able to fire that one home.
Brossett from the corner, that three-pointer rolls off. Battle for the rebound, Brian Bendo comes down with it. Dakota getting a hand on almost everything right now. Brian Bendo back inside, goes up off glass and lays it in. Brian Bendo's had a nice first half with 9 points.
Yeah, he's been everything for LCN in this game. Working him back into the rotation after missing him in the early part of the season.
Hines goes back across. Tyler O'Connor fires for three off the back iron. Mark Toko skies for that rebound.
Well, the smallest guys on the floor, that's just knowing where the ball is going to be on that long miss.
Now working LCN right now. There was contact there. There was no call. Here comes North. Johnson goes across. Brossett now looking in the post to Bendo. That was knocked away. Gets it back beyond the three-point line. Just can't knock it down. Here comes Dakota now. Mark Toko over to Josh Hines, sets himself for three and knocks it down and one. Boy, a chance at a 4-point play, and that's a dagger.
So you got Brossett missing on one end and Josh Hines knocking it down on the other. That's a 6-point swing, a potential for a 7-point swing, and that's what turns a tight game into a potential blowout.
31-19, Hines at the line. Can't complete the 4-point play, so here comes LCN now with the ball. They need some offense. Jeremiah Stewart drives in on a little hesitation. He was fouled. That's kind of what LCN needs right now, is the clock to stop and try to get some freebies at the line.
You got to make them, though. They've missed quite a few here in the first half.
Boy, struggles at the foul line continue for North.
Just got to work your way back into this basketball game. That means making your freebies. And
Another miss.
boy,
Goodness.
oh boy.
They've left at least 7 points.
You can see the frustration setting in with Coach Seletsky as he claps his hands together. He just knows it.
Hines another jumper, and he was fouled again. Third foul against Makai Johnson, but
add insult to injury there. Johnson picks up his third. He's got to take a seat, right?
that's the 8th team foul against LCN. Josh Hines has 11 points in this first half, looking for number 12 right now. And he'll look for number 13 as he was fouled on a 3-point attempt. Jordan Brossett checks back in for North. (34-19) our score now. Brossett, little hesitation, kicks it over to Jakari Hamilton. Now underneath, his pass picked off. Dakota playing the passing lanes. Hines goes up off glass with the left hand and lays it in.
Silky smooth. Complete body control, and he is really taken off in the second quarter, Josh Hines.
Hines and Toko both with 15 points apiece, and now another turnover is Zach Drosky. Goes over to Toko, who lays it in. And another timeout for L'Anse Creuse North. As you mentioned, the wheels were about to fall off. They pretty much are on the ground right now.
And 19-4 run in this second quarter as officially put Dakota in the driver's seat, and upset alert is officially off.
Yeah, got a long way to go, but the way that Dakota has played this year, even like I said, without one of their top players in Ryan Rollins, that just shows you how dangerous they were with Rollins. I mean, they have a lot more depth, and but when you guys got Josh Hines and Mark Toko, those guys are playing outstanding right now and providing the offense for the Cougars.
Dakota really in cruise control prior to that loss to Roseville, winning 8 straight games, and really they weren't blowing teams out. They had a 6-point win against Stevenson, a 2-point win over West Bloomfield, really a tough game against Chippewa Valley on the road, a 3-point win. So they weren't truly blowing teams out. They were in dogfights, and that could mean a lot of good things for them later on this season when they get into that red-white crossover tournament and then, of course, the state playoffs.
So out of the timeout, LCM will have the basketball. 2:12 left to go in the half.
With Makai Johnson on the bench with those 3 fouls, you're really scrambling to find somebody to find on the offensive end. And Bendo right now has been the man in charge.
Bendo, good delay that time to try to find some space. He went up and got fouled. Yeah, Brian Bendo with 9 points in this first half, and looking for 10 and 11 perhaps here. They got to make their foul shots. He makes the first, but they've scored 20, and he's got 11 of them, or excuse me, 10 of them.
He's got half their points. Sam Sedin has been a valuable contributor here tonight as well. They're going to need a little bit more of him in the second half as well. Use that body and size to bang inside.
$17-point advantage here for Dakota. Little pressure being brought by North. LCN playing man. Christian Johnson working against Toko defensively. Misses that shot. Sam Sedin gets the rebound. Minute and a half left to go. 3-pointer on the way. Jeremiah Stewart Misses that one. Here comes Dakota. Joey Toko in the corner, misses a three, a battle for the rebound. Loose on the floor, good scramble as Jeremiah Stewart and Zach Drosky both on the floor diving after it. So after the jump ball, possession arrow favored Dakota. Mark Toko just lost the handle on that one, and here comes LCN. Got a minute to go. Pass down in the post to Zook, out of bounds.
Boy, tough empty trip once again, and bounce pass comes in as Hampstead in and can't catch it cleanly. Another turnover for LCN, and tough quarter of basketball.
You got to avoid the unforced errors, that's for sure. Pass underneath to Zach Drosky, who gets on the score sheet.
And get beat down the floor there and allow the easy bucket to Dakota. Stewart.
High pass, Hines able to save it. Toko up ahead of everybody, tries to throw it down, misses. Out of bounds on that far side. And they're going to say it's LCM basketball. Well, I guess when you're up by 19, Mark Toko wanted to
he's
wanted to try to prove
bench.
he had some hops. His dad's even smiling on that one. Okay, if the coach is smiling and that's your dad, you know you're not going to get in trouble. But
was he motioning down at the floor to say it was a little slick there? Couldn't quite get the jumps.
Brian Bendo catches in the corner, fires, misses. Zook comes down, goes back up with it nicely. 8 points for Samsudin here in this first half. 8 seconds left. Dakota now with one opportunity to extend their lead. Toko dishes it off, mishandled, they kick it out. Not able to get that shot up. That would not have counted, and that's the way the first half will come to a close. Dakota on the road leads it 40-23. Brad, your thoughts?
Cougars kind of sleepwalked through that first quarter and then turned it on, and with a second gear in the second quarter, led by Hines and Toko, the two talented guards, really pouring it on what was really an impressive second quarter of play.
40-23 our score. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few moments for the start of the second half. Don't go away.
Macomb County, 27 cities, townships, and villages. From East Point to Memphis, Romeo to New Baltimore. 458 square miles of where you want to be. It's a place where your children can grow, and so can your business. Macomb County's tree-lined borders contain over 12,000 acres of parkland. Its outer edge, 31 miles of freshwater shoreline, both filled each year with countless concerts, festivals, and family reunions. It's the birthplace of advanced technologies that not only instruct future generations, but protect them. Hey, and those are just facts. You can get that from the internet or a book. No. To truly understand what Macomb County is all about, you need to experience it. You need to live here. You need to work here. When you do that, you'll know you're home.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Welcome back here on Macomb Township Government Access. Jason Burnt along with Brad Fetters getting set for the start of the third quarter here between L'Anse Creuse North and Dakota varsity boys basketball. Dakota put on a show in that second quarter. They lead it 40-23. Led by Josh Hines and Mark Toko with 16 points and 15 for Hines.
Yeah, Cougars outscoring the Crusaders there in the second quarter, 21-8, and boy, just compounding mistake after mistake. And
yeah, first pass of the second half goes flying out of bounds, so Dakota has it now. Hines goes in the corner. O'Connor fires for three off the mark. Shamsuddin out in transition. Runs into two blue jerseys. Decides to kick it back. Good job defensively by Dakota to get back there in transition to stop that. Bendo goes back to Shamsuddin, drives in, floats it, misses. Try to get his own rebound. Xavier Glenn got the board.
Yeah, Shamsuddin a little out of control there, going to the basket.
Hines got that one blocked. Glenn tips it out to Toko.
Nice swat away by Bendo inside. Not the biggest guy in the world, but nice defensive effort out of him.
Toko sets himself, fires and hits. Hard to defend that.
Nice little step back. Raining jumper. So good.
20-point lead now for Dakota. Shamsuddin, he was set. He fires off glass and knocks down a triple. Good answer right there for Shamsuddin, he had a nice first half. He had 8 points.
Bank shot straight away.
Did he call glass?
I think so. Bank was open.
Josh Hines wants to get into that game, and he knocks down a triple.
He's
so
really feeling it now, boy.
we got a 3-point shooting contest here in the second half. That pass out of bounds. Dakota will get the possession.
And Josh Hines, man, he's got swagger for only being a sophomore. Look at Toko putting on the Jets. Oh!
Behind the back pass to Glenn. It falls and one. Boy, Mark Toko having some fun out there. Tried for a dunk at the end of that first half. Couldn't quite get it, but got all smiles on that one. And then, of course, that pass behind his head to Xavier Glenn, who looking to complete a 3-point play.
This team really, since having that struggles in the first quarter, really looks determined to put this one away.
And we wondered off the top of our broadcast, we talked about it, how would Dakota be affected by the loss of Ryan Rollins? Sometimes a team can get a little dejected and it changes the way you play. And of course, on a road game, the first time you play after that, it can be tough. But Dakota has come out firing here tonight, and we got a foul on the backside over here.
Oh, it was a double whammy for them, right? They go on the road, lose to a Roseville team that was right behind them in the standings, and all of a sudden you look up and you're tied for first place with the Panthers, and you lose arguably your best player in the lineup to what could possibly be a season-ending injury.
Pass in the corner, off the hands of Shamsuddin. Bendo catches, fires, and hits. So the 3-point shooting barrage continues by both teams.
Bendo's so good tonight. That's the lift that they really needed. They needed somebody to take over a basketball game, and Brian Bendo's been that guy.
Boy, they have 5 field goals between them in the second half. They've all been threes. Make it 6. Tyler O'Connor.
That's what the game of basketball has quickly evolved into. We're talking off air prior to the start of this game tonight. The Houston Rockets this week attempted 73 pointers in their game against the Nets. 73 pointers.
Don't think you can see that many in this game. How about another one, though? Boy, that one nearly fell. Here comes Toko now, trying to push it.
Two teams combining for over 100 three-point attempts in that game.
And now we're going to get a foul against Samsudin in the post.
Won't be long for Curry to bypass Ray Allen's three-point record.
Makai Johnson trying for the steal, went off him.
Think we'll ever see a 4-point line?
The way this game's evolving, you never know. Guys are shooting this thing from a good 5 to 10 feet outside the line at times. Toko drives in, floats, and hits. First bucket of the second half. That wasn't a three-pointer.
Or do they just need to back up the three-point line?
That's a possibility as well. Boy, that would change the game and make post presence more important.
Because you've eliminated the post position right now.
Another three-pointer, this one by Christian Johnson. He hit one in the first quarter, knocks one down here in the third.
Oh, Samsudin went down hard. Toko just streaking right down the middle of the floor. Toko, unbelievable the speed he has.
They're going to get Zook on the foul.
Number 11, that's his 3rd, team
4:22
third.
left to go here in the third quarter. And what has turned out to be a three-point shooting contest. Mark Toko at the line. Knocks down the first. Everybody left. They thought that was a 1-on-1. It's a two-shot foul. $22 points for Mark Toko. Make it 23. Boy, he's had a whale of a game here tonight.
And he's coming off a 14-point, 6-steal performance and their loss against Roseville. So he just continues to pick up where he left off. I mean, what a complete season he's had.
That ball was deflected out of bounds. It'll stay on this side of the court.
He logs a lot of minutes, too.
Evan Whalen checks in for Dakota. Bendo puts it on the floor, drives in hard, lays it in, and one. Where would they be, LCN, without Brian Bendo right now in his 16 points?
Just got a different look about him here tonight. We saw them against Chippewa Valley, and really unable to get anything going offensively was LCN, and Bendo, a really valuable member of the team last year, is kind of a six-man off the bench, and huge game here tonight.
So he completes the three-point play. That one out of bounds. It'll be LCN basketball.
Potential's there for these two teams to hook up again in district play. That bracket's been set, and that district will take place here at LCN.
Three-pointer off the mark by Brossett. Held his head down for a second. Toko got behind him. Fortunate for them, they missed. Here comes LCN now, trying to pass it up ahead was Makai Johnson. Kicked out of bounds. So it'll stay with LCN.
The last time these two teams matched up, I talked to Coach Seletsky, and I said, well, you always got something in your bag of tricks when you face Dakota, and he kind of chuckled and said, yeah, we sure do, but we're going to hold and we're going to wait till the district game to deploy any of those tricks.
Nice up and under right there by Jordan Brossett, his first points of the ball game.
LCN's going to have to get through Anchor Bay and Port Huron before that potential matchup against Dakota.
Mark Toko drives inside, little finger roll. Got fouled. He'll look to complete the three-point play. Boy, almost unstoppable right now.
See how long his father stays with them, but the potential's there to score at least 30 points in this game.
10 points for Toko in this third quarter. He's got 26 in the game.
And really, he hasn't forced anything. It's just been a smooth 27 points.
That ball nearly lost by Makai Johnson. Jordan Brossett for three, knocks it down again. So a quick 5 points for Jordan Brossett here in the third as we come up on 2.5 to play.
Now defensively, LCN's gonna have to string a couple stops together, and they can't.
Evan Whalen knocks down a three-pointer. 3-point attempts in this game starting to get pretty high. Now out in transition, Joey Toko goes up, lays it in. Boy, Mark's gonna graduate after this year. They're gonna have Joey running the point in the future. Plays the game as smooth as his brother does. Here comes Dakota off a miss. Whalen kicks it out, picked off, and then a foul. Mark Toko had to foul Jeremiah Stewart that time to prevent what could have been an easy transition bucket.
And more importantly, give these two teams a little bit of a breather. Pace of this game has really picked up in the third quarter.
We've seen Dakota twice this year, and each time they've scored over 80. Right now with 64 points, they're on pace for that again. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Jensen Davenport now in the game, turns, fires, misses off the front iron. Josh Hines with the board. Backs it out. Dakota will set things up. Hines, little hesitation, lost control. Stewart now for LCN, goes up strong, misses, but we're going to get a foul.
And you mentioned that 85-point performance against LCN, and Dakota averaging nearly 64 points per game. They've scored 76, 79, 85. Those are their three highest scoring performances of the season. And you look at LCN offensively, their highest output this season was 52 points 3 times. So different brand of ball.
Stewart misses the first end of the 2 shots. Boy, if they would have hit some of their free throws here tonight, you could have probably added on about 7 to 10 points. They've missed so many of them. But Dakota at their average right now. Still got a 1.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Out top, Hines will control things for Dakota. Underneath. We're going to get a jump ball. That looked like to be a clean block. Yep. Xavier Glenn went up in the air, got caught that time. Nice defensive play by the Crusaders. And with 1:10 now, possession arrow did favor Dakota. Hines comes around a screen, fires and hits.
Boy, comes around on that curl, kind of like Rip Hamilton, and just able to knock that shot down.
21
screen to his advantage.
21 points for Josh Hines. Brian Bendo, his three-pointer misses. Jensen Davenport came down and knocked Zach Drosky out of bounds, so gonna get an over-the-back call. Yeah, boy, Josh Hines, you gotta, as a sophomore, you gotta imagine he's gonna start getting some looks as an off guard. You can shoot like that.
And he was really kind of feeling it in the pregame shoot around, and ooh, big contact there is Christian Johnson trying to clear out some room.
It's gonna go against Christian Johnson. Nathan Swijek checks in for Dakota, replacing Xavier Glenn. .30 seconds remaining here in the quarter. See if Dakota wants. They're not going to hold for one final shot as that little floater in the lane misses. Drosky turnaround won't go. Brian Bendo can't quite hold on to it, but it went off Dakota, and LCN will have the possession.
It looks like Bendo was able to knock that ball off of Joey Toko. Good heads-up play.
So now LCN with an opportunity to maybe cut into this deficit. 10 seconds remaining. Jordan Brossett controls. Going a little ISO right now out top. They got 4 seconds. You got to move. Brossett fires and hits. 7 points for Jordan Brossett in the third. Hits it at the buzzer.
Not exactly the way you drew that up.
But that's the way the third comes to a close. Dakota has the 67-42 lead. Stay with us. Be back in a few moments. Start of the fourth quarter. Don't go away.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
but science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Anyone care to volunteer your kid?
Anyone?
Your kids are not an experiment. Protect them from e-cigarettes.
And we're back here on Macomb Township Government Access. Jason Burnt and Brad Fetters getting set for the fourth and final quarter here between LCN and Dakota, varsity boys basketball. In what was a three-point shooting barrage in that third quarter, Brad, Dakota has the 67-42 lead.
Yeah, by our calculations, 8 different players knocked down a triple in that third frame, and everybody was firing them up, and they seemed to be going down, and a couple old-fashioned three-point plays too.
They start the fourth quarter by going inside. Brian Bendo drew the foul.
I really hope Brian Bendo can really draw upon this game and take it on in the rest of the season, as he has been terrific all 3 quarters. 17 points, make it 18 now.
Knocks down the first, got one more here. Able to hit the second. Dakota's offense just a little too much though here tonight, as it usually is most nights, but Mark Toko and Josh Hines both have played outstanding. And they've gotten a nice contribution from Xavier Glenn as well. Underneath, Glenn has it right now, trying to go up with it. Misses it. Brian Bendo grabbed the rebound, and he got hammered. Looks like Xavier Glenn's going to pick up his 4th foul. Both teams now have 6 team fouls, so being a bonus now the rest of the way.
Yep.
Bendo out top.
Jack McLeod, number 21, first action for him for LCN. Big junior forward.
Brossett drives in off glass. Just couldn't get that one to fall. Tough luck miss. Here comes Dakota now.
Boy, that hung up on the rim seemingly forever.
Josh Hines, 3-pointer off the front iron. Rebounded by number 21, Jack McLeod, into the game now for L'Anse Creuse North. Brian Bendo fires for 3 and hits. So this is Brian Bendo's night for LCN, win or lose.
Inside and outside.
22 points for Bendo. Hines at the foul line, fires off the back iron. Glenn skies for the board, drops it off nicely to Major, who lays it in. First points of the fourth quarter here for Dakota. Jeremiah Major, his first points of the game, and we got a foul on this end against Dakota.
Brossett's so good with the basketball, isn't he? Crossover dribbles, can go behind the back, create some space, able to get to the hoop.
Jordan Brossett helped them out in the third quarter, scoring 7 points.
And got the ball like a yo-yo out there.
Nearly had that one earlier, just go in and out. He's played a nice second half here. Could tell he was a little discouraged after that first half as he misses the free throw.
Beasley got called for a foul there.
Mark Toko was laughing at that time. They didn't get a call, but
Referee let that go.
Hines drives in, kicks it out. That time a little too far out of the reach. Maybe out of position that time, but Dakota turns it over, and LCN has it now. Down by 22. Step back three-pointer on the way, knocked down by Christian Johnson. Oh, they're calling it a two-pointer?
For on the line.
8 points for Johnson, and we're going to get a timeout. LCN's going to call a 30-second TO. Oh, it's a Dakota 30-second timeout, excuse me.
Nope, they will call that a 3. They gave Johnson 3.
They did call that a 3. So 9 points for Christian Johnson. Brosette has 7 in the ball game. 11 points for Sam Shadin, and of course we mentioned it, the 22 points for Brian Bendo leading the scores for LCN. So they're getting a little balance here in this game. They just unable to stop the two guards here for Dakota.
And MAC Red, MAC White tournament's going to be fun. You look at Roseville and Dakota at the top of the red, and obviously New Haven with Romeo Weems at the top of the white, but Warren Mott right behind New Haven with a 9-2 record, 5-1 in league play. That really could set up for some tremendous matchups in that tournament.
Of course, their one loss against New Haven and a putback off glass by Xavier Glenn. Yeah, New Haven jumping up to the white this year. And
did you see how many points New Haven scored against Utica Ford?
I did
97.
Not. Holy mackerel. Scorekeeper in that game must have been had a sore trigger finger on that one.
A 97-44 victory.
Brian Bendo gets another bucket for L'Anse Creuse North. LCN is approaching their season high in points. That shot by Toko off the mark, off the front iron. Makai Johnson now. Little jump stop, goes up, misses. Here comes Dakota now, out in transition. Glenn gets barreled over. They're
late whistle, too.
They're going to call travel.
Oh, wow.
They're not even going to call a foul on that. A little surprising that time is looked like they're running to the Bulls that time as everyone just barreled them over, but
both teams starting to empty their benches. You wonder how long Toko is going to stay in this game. Physical nature. Dakota only had 4 players on the floor.
Well, Coach Seletsky is unhappy with the official stopping play. Yeah, he's unhappy that LCM would have had a 5-on-4 advantage. You're not supposed to stop the play if that happens.
Well, and Coach Seletsky said it would have been a different story if they would have had 6 on the floor, but they only had 4.
Yeah, three-pointer by Makai Johnson. He was fouled. So 3 free throws coming for Makai Johnson. Kai Johnson misses the front end again, and you can see his frustration. Coach Seletsky mentioned it before the game. Makai just a little bit gun shy, maybe just a little frustrated with his confidence shooting the basketball. Knocks down the second of 3. Makai Johnson, one of their leading shooters on the team, only has 2 points in this ball game. That's make it 3 points, but that's telling at this point.
Well,
need a little bit of better offensive output from him.
And you really got to credit Mark Toko, too. He's played some really shutdown, lockdown defense on Makai Johnson, and they've forced other players to beat them tonight, and Brian Bendo's been able to answer the bell, but
That one off the fingertips of Xavier Glenn. Out of bounds. 3:35 left to go in the ball game. Dakota has this one in hand. LCN has the possession. Johnson underneath got trapped. We got a jump ball. Possession arrow favors LCN. You almost got to be alert there and call timeout if you get trapped under the basket.
And trying to avoid the 3-second violation, and nobody really came to help and bail out Christian Johnson.
Sigaleric into the ball game, has the ball, puts it on the floor. McLeod, he puts it on the floor, now spins, goes up and under. We're going to get a foul against Dakota.
A nice job of not picking up that pivot foot, got his defender up in the air. Swajcik applying the foul. See if McLeod can make good on these freebies.
Well, foul shots have been a problem here tonight for L'Anse Creuse North.
It looks like Mark Toko's day is officially done as he'll begin to unwrap that tape from a non-shooting hand.
So McLeod hits the second point. Brad, do you realize if they would have hit maybe about 5 to 7 more free throws, what you'd be looking at a 10-point ball game right now?
Single-digit game.
Yeah, you could potentially be looking at a lot tighter of a ball game at this point.
Well, when we talked about it, you got to be near perfect in order to beat Dakota.
Especially in a game where we've seen so many three-pointers made. 3 shots, that's 9 points right there. LCN could get back into a ball game quick. Got a kick ball, and here's Dakota's going to empty their bench even more. As Marvin Hughes checks in, number 14, as does Antonio Cordova, number 22.
Sean Schweisinger.
Sean Schweisinger checks in. Number 13, Coach Schweisinger, former coach over at Eisenhower. His son plays here at Dakota.
Nice curl.
3-pointer, that one off the back iron, a battle for the rebound, it comes down to Nathan Swajcik. Here comes Dakota now. There is a miss right there, and Swajcik cleans it up. Boy, Schweisinger looked like it might have got fouled, or that one at least blocked. And now we're going to get a turnover as Dakota forces it, and they'll get the ball back.
The Schweisinger shot had to have been blocked because he went up and came back down.
So we're going to get a full timeout now. 73-55 our score. Dakota has a couple more tough games coming up, Brad.
Yeah, they sure do.
They've already faced Roseville twice, but they got a home matchup with Stevenson looming and another one with Chippewa Valley.
And that home game against Sterling Heights Stevenson will be the last regular season game of the season. That'll be on February 1st. Chippewa Valley at home. A couple out-of-conference games, including Harper Woods, Chandler Park Academy, and Detroit Cass Tech. That Cass Tech game will be played at Bellevue High School. The other league game is a road game against Eisenhower.
Those non-conference games at the end of the year, that's just to kind of get them ready for postseason play. Obviously, Dakota's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage now, minus Ryan Rollins, one of their best players out for the year, but still an excellent basketball team and a good shot to win a district championship and a good shot to maybe even challenge in the regional.
Yeah, well, potential there, as we mentioned, for that matchup against L'Anse Creuse North in the district. Port Huron Northern, Anchor Bay, and Port Huron, the other 3 schools that make up that district. As you mentioned, that will be played right here at LCN.
So Dakota has it here out of the timeout as we come up on 2 minutes to play in the ball game, and we're going to get a travel. Timing off that time on that pass. Marvin Hughes got whistled. Of course, a lot of the guys on the court right now not getting a lot of playing time this year, but some lopsided victories. They get a chance to see what they can do, and a little off that time. Bad pass, picked off nicely by Sean Schweisinger, but then coming back, blocking it out of bounds was Makai Johnson.
Schweisinger
dribbling the air out of the basketball. One too many dribbles that time. Got himself in all kinds of trouble.
Hughes has it out top, Schweisinger. Dakota just looking to kill some clock here. Cordova floats one with the left hand, nearly fell, rebounded by Brian Bendo.
Cordova wearing the specs. I was a Rec Specs guy back in the day. Horace Grant style.
Kai Johnson kicks it out. What do we got? A Dakota foul. That'll be the 10th team foul, so double bonus time now for L'Anse Creuse North.
Chris Sabo, remember him? Cincinnati Reds. He was another Rec Specs guy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kai Johnson knocks down a free throw. He's struggled here tonight and only has 4 points. What was the season high for L'Anse Creuse North as a team? You mentioned that earlier on, that stat.
That was a season high of 52 points.
Well, they're 57, so they've topped that for the year. Unfortunately, they've allowed 73 up to this point for Dakota.
Hit 52 3 separate times against Port Huron Northern, L'Anse Creuse, and this very Dakota team.
Hard trap in that far corner, or the near side corner, I should say, and they got a timeout from the bench. 30-second timeout for Dakota.
As for L'Anse Creuse North, their upcoming schedule, they have that tough Sterling Heights Stevenson team coming up here at home before going on the road to take on Roseville before finishing up their conference play with Chippewa Valley. So where in those next 3 games do they pick up their first victory?
Well, they played Chippewa Valley tough the first time. We saw that here on MTGA. That was a close battle all the way in deep into the fourth quarter, and Big Reds pulled away there in the final minutes. But Roseville, seemingly one of the top teams and looking to win out, perhaps giving them a co-share at least of the MAC Red Championship. And Stevenson right in the mix as well still. That's going to be a tough go. Then they got another game against L'Anse Creuse late in the year and one against Hamtramck. And then a game against Anchor Bay. So you would hope that they're not going into that Anchor Bay game looking for the...
Well, that Anchor Bay game will be the first round of districts.
Yeah.
And more than likely, they won't qualify for the red-white tournament. So they did play L'Anse Creuse tough, 55-52. They dropped that game, second game of the season. As you mentioned, they played Chippewa Valley to a 44-35 loss. Not many seniors on this L'Anse Creuse North roster.
They got some players coming back next year, along with some talent coming up from the JV. We saw the JV team before this one.
Just for the sake of those 6 seniors, you'd like to pick up at least one victory before the end of the season.
Well, Brad, 29 seconds remaining here, and Dakota's going to win this ball game. Your thoughts on this game overall?
Well, I think it was interesting to see how well Dakota would respond coming off that tough loss to Roseville and the loss to their point guard and Ryan Rollins. And it was a tough kind of sludge fest to start this game off in the first quarter of play as LCN really stayed with Dakota in that first quarter. But really the terrific play by their 2 guards, Josh Hines and Mark Toko. Too much here tonight for LCN to come back from.
LCN has this final possession down to 14 seconds. Ball loose, Bendo gets it back. Johnson goes up off glass, lays it in, and that'll pretty much do it. So Dakota wins it 75-59 here on the road at LCN. An outstanding ball game, like you mentioned, from Josh Hines and Mark Toko leading the way. For the rest of our crew here at Macomb Township Government Access, we thank you so much for watching. And my broadcast partner, Brad Fetters. Once again, the final score, Dakota wins it 75-59. So long, everyone.